Thanks very much for joining us today for this podcast. I'd like to talk to you today about human rights and the publication of our annual report. We prepare these reports for virtually every country in the world, and that includes an assessment of how the United States is doing as well. Georgia made important strides this year, but there is still room for progress to better protect universal human rights for all Georgians. We remain concerned with reports of selective application of the rule of law, a lack of due process, curbs on media freedom, harassment of opposition party and non-governmental organization members, and government interference with labor associations. These trends are particularly concerning to us given our administration's commitment to the engagement, support, and protection of civil society and human rights defenders. Secretary Clinton recently urged leaders in governments to treat civil society as partners, not adversaries. The report also highlights another troubling trend that we see. Many investigations concerning reported misconduct or illegal actions by government representatives from this and previous years remained pending at year's end. In contrast, those cases concerning equivalent behavior by government opponents were quickly prosecuted and completed. I think it's also important to highlight the positive trends. Georgia registered some notable achievements this year. These included the implementation of a new criminal procedure code, amendments strengthening the public defender's office, the construction of new prisons that meet international standards, and the first direct election of the mayor of Tbilisi. Reports of human rights violations in the occupied regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia continued this year. It's clear we need additional transparency, including a renewed international presence in the territories, to enable us all to better assess the humanitarian and human rights conditions there. We also believe that stronger Georgian democracy requires the most competitive possible environment for the 2012 parliamentary and 2013 presidential elections. That's why much of our assistance to Georgia, including $60 million in new investments this year, is focused on supporting electoral reform and strengthening the rule of law, independent media, and civil society watchdogs. Senior U.S. officials, including Vice President Biden and Secretary Clinton, will continue to engage senior Georgian officials about these issues in the year ahead. We'll be discussing our concerns and the work we can do together to improve human rights and democracy in Georgia in the next meeting of the Democracy Working Group under our strategic partnership. That meeting will occur here in Tbilisi later this month. I'd like to close with recent events in Northern Africa. As President Obama noted in discussing events in Libya, the United States must stand alongside those who believe in the same core principles that have guided us through many storms. Our opposition to violence directed at one's own people. Our support for a set of universal rights, including the freedom for people to express themselves and choose their leaders. And our support for governments that are ultimately responsive to the aspirations of the people. I believe there are many people in Georgia, inside and outside government, who are guided and motivated by these same principles. The debate here centers around how best to make them real for every Georgian. That debate should be strong, but peaceful, and lead to change through institutions and the ballot box. We will continue to offer our perspective, our advice, and our friendship in helping the people of this country strengthen your democracy, improve your economy, and lead more fulfilling lives. A copy of our country report for 2010 is now available on the embassy website, and we expect to have a Georgian translation available in about 1 month. Thanks very much for joining us today.